All right, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans, sponsored by Lion Bolt Media. I'm your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, essentially gathering insight, inspiration. It really drives and motivates these top producers above and beyond everybody else, and what I'd like to consider a real estate titan. Now, our very special guest and featured titan for episode 263, right here from Plymouth, Massachusetts, none other than Susana Murphy. Susana, thank you so much for taking the time. It's an honor to have you on today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
And Susana, I have to gush on you. And it's not because it's Valentine's Day. It's ultimately,
Hey, I'm wearing pink for
I
you.
know. I didn't wear any red, pink, anything like that, but I apologize. But I am going to say some loving words towards you before we jump in. Normally, I don't do this at all, but you're very special to me and to my family. You made a massive impact on our lives. Personally, we've worked with you. You've helped us find our dream home here on the South Shore. More importantly than that, Susana, your passion, your integrity, just the overall knowledge that you have in the industry is just awe-inspiring. But truly, at the end of the day, you helped us from across country fall in love with the South Shore. And I can't thank you enough. My family can't thank you enough. I can't wait to share your story. So I enough of the gushing. I just wanted to start off with that, but I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. It was truly a pleasure to work with you. I love your family. I'm obsessed, especially with your daughter.
Oh yeah, Olivia, she's a mess.
And you guys did such a beautiful, you have a gorgeous property, gorgeous home. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Susana. It's all you. It's all you. I can't thank you enough. But I do want to give everybody out there right now what they've come here for, which is to get to know one of the best and brightest minds in the real estate space and really learn what you've learned and kind of understand your story, who you are as a person, a professional, and everything in between. So Susana, let's just start with the first question. Anybody who maybe doesn't know you, what's your story, your progression into your life, your career, what got you to this point, where you're from, the backstory, the origin story? What's that look like?
So I do have a little accent, and some people think maybe Kentucky, but it's not. I'm originally from Spain, born and bred in on the north side of Spain, a small town called Santander, like the bank, like Santander. And I left my country at an early age, moved to Ireland. Believe it or not, that's what I learned to speak English. I lived in Dublin for a couple of years. And then I moved down to London, where I attended college. And then from London, I ended up in Massachusetts. So when people ask me, where's your accent from? I said, I'm like a mud. I've learned the Irish, the British, and then the American. Like, not even me, I understand myself sometimes.
I love it.
But basically, I came here. I worked in Boston for Fidelity Investments in the marketing department, not the financial department. And then from there, I went to work for another company in as a headhunter. September 11th happened. My company was from California. They closed doors, unfortunately. And at that point, I had my first daughter. I have two daughters now, but back then, at that time, only one. And my husband at that time, he was from Connecticut. So neither one of us had a home-based family near us. And he worked in the city, I worked in the city. And honestly, I don't know if any moms out there, working moms out there can like relate to this. But traveling in the train and leaving your 1.5-year-old an hour or so away from you, it gives you anxiety. At least it did for me. So I thought I need to find myself something to do that I enjoy local, because we don't have family to help us with anything.
Wow.
So a friend of mine or a neighbor of mine had a franchise at that time in real estate. And he said, listen, you were a headhunter, you're really good at marketing, you're really good at sales. Why don't you just get into real estate? And I was your typical snob. I'm like, real estate? No, I don't think I will enjoy real estate. I always wanted to do marketing for, PR, marketing, advertising. That was my passion. Wow. And I got in the industry when the market was crashing, which was even worse, right? People were saying, why are you getting into sales? No one can sell at home. And I remember getting in the industry 2007 in October. And by December, I had sold 4 homes.
Wow.
And again, didn't go to school here, didn't have family here. So people will say real estate was really hard. And I was thinking, well, I just brought 4 sales home. I didn't have to commute. I didn't have to put my daughter in daycare. I can think of expanding my family right now and having more children because this affords me the flexibility. I'm like, I'm all in into real estate. This is a great industry. You can make a lot of money. You can make a difference. And somehow I seem to be good at the marketing aspect of real estate. So I fell in love, and that's how I got into real estate.
Oh, yeah. But Susana, I love it. And again, just the way that you have grown up and just travel and different cultures and perspectives and occupation and falling into real estate, because there isn't a direct path. No one says, hey, you know, when I'm a kid, someday I'm going to be a real estate professional. It usually ends up being a different reason for everybody. But I love that. I appreciate that individual who had suggested it to you, at least planted that initial thought, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't know you, and you wouldn't have helped so many people over all these years really just make impacts on their lives. That's huge stuff. But so you having success like that, you had hit on a couple of really good things, marketing and your background, and obviously being a people person and elevating that to a different standard. And I know that you're all about setting that standard to the highest of level, really making an impact on people's lives. But in the industry, what did it look like from that first year and your progression of your career to today, Susana, because you've got so much going on. So let's just get the timeline, I guess, from that first year onwards to today.
So when I joined the industry, I worked for a franchise, and I was always just, and I still am, I think, one of those gals that likes to listen to a lot of podcasts and read a lot of books and go to a lot of conferences and network and learn. Self-growth is really important to me. So I would spend a great part of my year traveling to Hawaii and Seattle and Texas and California, just going places far away from the East Coast where I thought they would be more innovative and networking and learning what was happening in the West Coast so I could bring it to the East Coast. But what's most important to me is when I will get back, even though I worked for a company where there was really not a team concept. In fact, it was pretty cutthroat and I was up against my peers.
Wow.
I will be the agent that always wanted to come back and do a roundtable discussion and share it all with them. I will sit down and say, guys, when DocuSign, when electronic signatures were not even a thing, right? I learned it from someone in Texas. How are we gonna go paperless? And then I decided to train the entire company that I didn't own, right? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be the team in the East Coast that is going paperless, and Evernote, and how we're gonna use Evernote to go paperless. So I'm like the type of girl that if I buy a good mascara that works really well, I tell everybody, guys, this is the mascara. And it applies to my business as well. When I learn something that works, I wanna help others use it. I want others to also know of it and use it in the business and help them, grow their business. So within maybe a couple of years of working for that company and doing what I was doing, one of my friends said to me, I think you're crazy. And I said, why? And she said, because you're spending the money, the time away from your family, you're going in search for answers and tools and systems and ideas. And then you're coming back and you're telling everyone that you work with about it and training them. But then they compete against you. And at that time I thought, well, I don't see it like I compete against them. I see it like I'm helping my team. And she said to me, but it's not your team. It's not even your company. So then I thought, well, maybe she's onto something.
Yeah.
And maybe I gotta form my own team, right? where I can feel that I can freely share with those that have joined me in this ride and help. And that's how it came about, me opening up my own boutique company. At that time, I looked at the roster of companies that were here in the South Shore, and I thought, well, I'm not Coldwell Banker, I'm not Century 21, I didn't identify, my heart didn't feel like any other company was home. So I thought, then create your own home, because there will be other agents out there that want that boutique, collaborative, high standard on marketing, systematic processes company. So create it if it doesn't exist. And that's how Alante came about.
Oh my God. And I love that. And so for anybody out there who doesn't know Alante, let's talk about that. So we know the formulation, a collaborative nature, really setting the bar and expectations. I love the fact that you built it and you brought people that care and they're like-minded. And there's so many individuals that try to put themselves into a mold. And unfortunately, they put limitations on themselves. And you didn't do that, Susana. And that's what's beautiful. And you're able to open up minds and hearts of other real estate professionals who maybe feel the same way that you do. Hey, I don't really fit into these areas. So let's talk about Alante specifically and, kind of how that was built and then how the team grew, I guess, and where you guys are at today.
Yeah. So originally I came with kind of really conservative expectations. I just wanted a company that I felt proud to represent, that others felt proud to represent. In my mind, I felt if I have a round table of a team of 10 or 20 people, and we all share with each other what's working and what's not working, then our growth will be exponentially greater, right? Because I am hearing from everyone else what their failures were, so I don't make them, and what their lessons were, so I can learn them quicker, versus being an independent agent in a large scale company where I'm trying to do everything on my own. So that's where the collaborative come from. I like people that they raise their hand like me and say, hey guys, I went to Sephora, I tried this pore cream that shrinks your pores and you all have to use it. That's the kind of person I like, the one that wants to help other people.
Love it.
So that's the collaborative aspect. The other aspect is I wanted people that had big hearts. I always say my company has a big heart and it goes above money. And I know it sounds cheesy. We're all in sales. We're all driven by making money. I get it. But to me, those that spend the extra mile, that go above and beyond on marketing, on customer service, on the little things. And I'm all about the little things in life.
Sure.
Are the ones that have big hearts. And it translates, it is a slower growth, but eventually you see it. You see that your reviews are growing, your referrals are growing, your volume grows without even realizing it. You're like, I could stop right now lead generating and I still make a lot of money in real estate, because for X number of years, I've done the right thing for the consumer. So I didn't want to run a company based on the latest shiny object that's going to drive more cold leads to the company. I wanted to run a company that was about, guys, let's just do the right thing, right? If it was your home, if it was your grandmother's home, what kind of brochures do you want to give your grandmother? What kind of sign do you want your grandmother to have? What kind of marketing strategy do you want her to have? Then let's just treat every single person like it's your grandmother.
Wow.
It's that simple.
But that's showing really understanding the fundamentals of people and what the needs and desires are of the clients, right? And putting their expectations in the forefront. and really designing a collaborative culture which everyone can succeed from that. And Susana, you're breaking it down so wonderfully, and everyone is looking for that next shiny object. Everyone is looking for the easy button. And I think that when it comes down to it, this is my personal opinion, it does take time to build, right? There's no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. There's certain aspects where, if you put the time and effort into it, you're going to yield a result, whether it's short-term, midterm, long-term. But I think too many people are looking for that quick and easy. Having the guidance there, though, Susana, which I know you do above and beyond for the team and for the industry in and of itself, is crucial, because so many people could say, I agree with you. I love exactly what you're saying, but I still don't know what activities, what actions, how I should be implementing these things. You're having your 10-year anniversary here in April, which is super exciting. Big congratulations.
We are so excited.
Huge milestone.
Yeah.
But there's a specific launch that I would love to mention out to anybody who's watching or listening to us live here or after the fact. Let's talk about the careers section of the website and what you're bringing to the industry, Susana, if you're okay with sharing.
Yeah. So let's continue the theme of sharing and being transparent and being given and trying to raise the bar, right?
Yeah.
When I first opened Alante, and I know this is probably going to sound extremely braggadatory, what I'm about to say, but I never, ever, ever liked property brochures. I mean, back in the day, 17, 18 years ago, it was just the MLS printing. And for many years, it was just like that.
Sure.
I used to think, I don't really get it. Again, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, the consumer is paying us to market and sell the home, and we're printing an MLS sheet for open houses. Why don't they have a property book that tells someone how much it costs to hit the house? Because buyer is going to want to know that, or where the sun sets, because they want to know that too, if they're going to use the backyard, or does the neighbor have block parties, right? Why don't we tell a little bit more than just as a 3-bedroom and 2,000 square foot home? So I remember creating, we have beautiful brochures. Now our brochures are actually digital, so people can open them and scan QR codes and they see videos of certain parts of the home in the brochures. Wow. But one of my agents at that time came to the office all bent out of shape, and she said, oh my gosh, you won't believe it. I was showing a property on the Cape, and look, somebody copied our brochures. I said to her, that's so wonderful. Do you realize that we just help elevate the industry a little bit better? That's a win for the consumer.
Yes.
That client just got better brochures because that agent copied yours.
Yep.
That's really good news, right? So what we've decided to do for our 10th year is we're building, which will launch at the end of the month, most likely will be ready. But on our website, there is going to be an entire section that any agent can go to. And we're going to break it down into operations, marketing, and culture. And we are literally building all those blocks, giving away all the tools, all the platforms, all the software, all the SOPs, all the processes, everything on the website. So you can go in, click on it, you can watch a video, you can download it. Basically, the internal aspect of our business, we're going to put it all on a website. Because I realized that while we want to keep Alante boutique and small, and we will never grow to be more than maybe 16 agents or 18 agents, we like to keep it that small.
Sure.
There are other agents that might benefit on saying, well, I do want to put together a buyer packet, or I do want to know what kind of system do they use so that an agent can transact 10 sales every single month and still be able to sleep at night knowing that they didn't drop the ball on ordering a water reading or a smoke inspection. So how do they manage that? And we're going to give it to them. You can then do it on your own, and hopefully that helps more real estate agents, and in return helps more consumers.
The fact that you're giving that, I mean, literally the blueprint, the roadmap, of your success, and it's not being charged. It's given
No.
to the community of real estate professionals to elevate and separate the bar. It shows the integrity, it shows the character. And once again, it shows the confidence in the relationships that you have with your clients. And as that brokerage in and of itself, the South Shore, and define that, if you wouldn't mind, Susana, for anybody who's wondering, okay, what is exactly the South Shore of Massachusetts? What does that
So
state?
basically Boston, right? And you take south of Boston all the way to the islands. So
Gotcha.
anything that's on the water side, from Hull, Cohasset, Hingham, Norwell, Scituate, Marshfield, Kingston, Plymouth is where we're home based, which is centered in the middle between Boston and Cape Cod, right?
Love it.
So we're in the middle. And then we move down to the Cape, which we are Upper Cape and Middle Cape mostly. We do have great relationships with other brokers down the tip of the Cape that we refer them. Until I open the second office in the Cape, we're staying in the middle on the upper.
There you go, Susana. And again, a complete domination into that. But the point is, it's already there, in my opinion. I mean, the way that you have established, the presence in the South Shore, and just the consistency that's there. I mean, it just shows. And I can take it from personal experience. I mean, truly. And you are a direct referral from one of our mutual friends up in North Boston. And, at the end of the day, that was the only recommendation from this individual, was Susana. And that speaks volumes in and of itself. So I find it to be absolutely incredible that you're doing that. What's the site? Just so that we've got it out there, and I can put it in the show notes too, but what site?
Sure. So it's just going to be our general website, alanterealestate.com. And then there will be, on the main interface, there's just going to be a tab that says careers. And then you could just go in and basically peruse in your own time and just steal it all. Just go for it. Just grab it. And if you want to record video tutorials of every single section, teaching people how to do it.
I love it.
I'm so excited about it. Really excited. I'm going to tell you why I'm excited about it, Greg. Yeah. Because I see, in my opinion, the biggest downfall is the frame of mind of a real estate agent when they get in the business and they think of this industry or this job as just that, a job. And I've always looked at it more like, congratulations, you're getting in the real estate industry. What's the name of your business? And don't tell me I work for Remax or I work for Sotheby's, because the name of your business is Susana Murphy. The name of your business is you. You may be operating your business in a shopping mall, right? They're giving you space. They're keeping it clean. They're bringing traffic, but your business is you. And that's the difference, in my opinion, between the upper tier realtors and those that struggle past $100,000 in revenue. Is the ones that don't look at it like, let me learn how to run my business. Even if you are just you, or you on a TC, or you on a VA, but you have to look at it like your business is you, and then you have an operations department, a sales department, a marketing department, an advertising department, and you gotta move through all those departments every single day and run it like a business until you can grow it to have people support you in those departments so that you don't have to do it all.
Yeah, setting up that infrastructure, as you mentioned, is crucial. And I think looking at it from that standpoint, the name over the door is not what the individual is connecting with. It's the one-to-one relationship. But there's so much more just to that. That's the initial, but it's the team and association in the process. I can take it again. This is a shameless plug, I guess, for Susana and Alante, but
I love it.
It was so smooth. I mean, the communication, the implementation from start to finish. I mean, the continued relationship. I mean, the marketing, everything that I see out there in a geographic area is beautiful. It's executed to the highest of standards. And again, you're not just saying these things like, oh, I'm setting the bar. You're doing it. I mean, anybody who is curious about it, just look up Susana, look up what's going on, follow her. And trust me when I tell you, this is top notch. But what's really fascinating to me, Susana, and again, we're scratching the surface on the way that you operate and do things to that level. But I can take it again, at least from my perspective, client appreciation events. I mean, you talk about digital and marketing and operations internal and expectations for buyers, for sellers getting the job done, but it's so personal. At least it feels that way, right? To the consumer, to me, to you. And, we were lucky enough to be invited to one of your many events, and we went to the drive-in, and it was so great. I mean, it was just so many people. What a fun event. I remember Olivia was super excited, and she got to meet Rapunzel from Disney. And it was just the coolest thing. So I guess, is there any, there's so many facets of this, Susana. And again, you can take it from any direction, but you've built your business in a big way. And over, 17, 18 years, really dominating the South Shore. If you could look back at your career thus far and pick or choose one or two things that you added or implemented that you really saw growth, scale, movement of the needle, what does that look like for you? Or what advice would you give anybody watching or listening at this point?
Yeah, I think one of the probably smartest and best investments I ever made was I signed on to use a software system that is used by engineers, actually, mostly. And I used it to template everything in my business. So it affords me to, A, work really smart and work less hours, right? B, I know that I can look at a client to their eyes, and I know that I'm never dropping the ball on anything.
Wow.
And that makes me feel really good from an integrity standpoint, but also makes me feel like I can sleep at night. And I can let them sleep at night, which I think is one of the biggest fears someone has when they're going through one of the biggest transactions in their lives, right? So for anyone out there that wants to transact and do, 30, 40, 50, sales a year, maybe one or two sales a month, you can manage it with like yellow sticky notes everywhere or lists. But if you're going to go to like 70 million, 80 million, big numbers, you need to have a template for everything. You have to have a template that is task-based, that has video tutorials and email recommendations for every task to the consumer and to the agent, so that it's child-proof. It's like a click of a button, you get a new listing, you open the template, it tasks your entire transaction, you move on to the next. You don't have to worry about, did I order photography? Did I order design? Did I print the brochures? It's just all done automatically for you. So one of the best investments you can do, in my opinion, is that. And the second biggest one is a systematic process for an after closing. So an after closing, to be able to stay in touch with the consumer. What's the statistic? 80% of buyers that buy a home from a real estate agent say that they will use them again. And less than 80% of that 80% actually ends up using the real estate agent, because we fall out of touch with them. And honestly, I sympathize with my peers. It's hard. If you've been selling for a long time and you have hundreds of clients, keeping up with all of them is really hard. And now you have DMs and you have, sorry, I should have put,
you're good. It's live.
I should have put that on side on do not disturb. What was I saying?
You're sympathizing with touch points.
Yeah, I sympathize with my peers. Clients are like, we haven't heard from so-and-so in like 3 years. Well, they've been selling for 15 years. They have 600 clients.
Oh, yeah.
We now get DMs from every social media platform to keep up, and phone calls and texts and WhatsApps. It's like, we don't have enough hours in a day to respond to everybody and stay in touch with everybody. And the reality is that we all want to. We had our monthly meeting today, and one of our agents said, I've been taking my time to literally pop into clients' homes so that I can see what they've done with the properties after they bought them.
Yeah.
And have a coffee with them and hang around with them.
Mhm.
And the rest of the team is like, how do you have enough time to do that? And she's like, I don't, but it's important to me right now that
Right.
I take the time to do that. So we all want to,
Mhm.
but if you have a process that says month one, they bought it in the winter time.
Mhm.
Now it's spring, they bought this product, which is a home.
Yep.
That product operates different in the winter than it does in the spring. So what do we need to tell them that they need to do in the spring? And can we refer them to people to help them because they're not from this area?
Sure.
Right? So it's just staying in touch with them, staying in touch with anyone that you have ever come in contact with
Mhm.
and assisted, and put in a systematic process to be able to produce at a high volume.
I love that you're looking at it from a systematic standpoint, because to your point, as you are in the business longer and your, clientele base grows, your sphere of influence, that can be the one-to-one feeling can be more and more difficult. And anybody out there who's there absolutely knows that. And having something that can be tracked and followed up with and really, really hitting those things in a very intentional way is going to help. But I'm telling you, Susana, at least again, this is just from my perspective. You've always been there. I'm always getting multitude of touch points. I'm always getting invited to different events and really being involved in the community. You are actually doing what you're saying you're doing, which I think is fantastic. I wish more real estate professionals knew those systems, knew those processes, really understood.
Hard. Greg, honestly, it's just hard. Like, how do you, if I didn't have a system that's telling me, you just signed a new client, send them a video welcoming them to your company, I wouldn't remember to do it because I'm doing a home inspection on that day. I have 2 listing appointments, I'm showing properties, and I'm helping my children with homework or, whatever you're doing. So it's about it's basically tell your business what you want your business to tell you you have to do every day, and then just do it.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Any of the top leverage points, I do want to go into, anything else that stands out to you. So if somebody were to be able to take action today and they're like, you know what, I love what Susana's saying. I love what she represents. She runs her business to the highest of standards and levels. All the systems are put into place. What would you say to those individuals? If they're interested, because I know that the team is growing. And I think ultimately, just like anything else, it's a massive selection process, the right fit, the right people. What does the team growth look like? I mean, if anything stood out.
Yeah, we're opening seats to 6 agents this year.
Okay.
For us is very simple, yet really hard to find somehow, but very simple.
Yeah.
My goal is to be able to teach every single agent that works here how to run their business as a business. So you have to be coachable. You have to want to transact at a high volume, right? And high volume meaning you want to be able to do 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, 25 million. Who are we a perfect fit for? Folks that like to list properties, because we have an in-house content creator and marketing department that all you have to do as a listing agent is sign a listing agreement. You give it to the company and they do everything for you. So if you are a heavy listing agent, it's a no-brainer. We pay all the expenses associated with the marketing of a listing, and we do all the work for you so that you can be out there and do what you're supposed to be doing, which is getting more business and negotiating contracts and getting you to sell at a high volume. So that's what we're looking for, the players that have a big heart, the ones that care about what the properties look like before they put them on the market, what kind of brochures they give their clients, folks that really want to learn how to run it as a business so that the business grows instead of them having to call. I just don't get it. Like, why would you want to be doing? And I get it. I'm a big fan of Tom Ferry and all the other coaches I used to be a Tom Ferry client, and I get the whole hour of power and cold call and all that. But I just want to teach you how to like fish so you can feed yourself. I don't want to give you the fish. I don't want to give you the next shiny object. Let me show people how to run a business that people call you instead of by doing the right activities along the way. And then just eventually it's supposed to get easier. Eventually you're not supposed to work 12 hours a day. You're supposed to be able to have more time to travel and to spend with your family.
Wow. You know, as you mentioned that, Susana, it's the teaching how to fish versus just providing the fish, massive. So many people say it, very few do it. I know that you do that in a giving way. I mean, look, we're talking about the site that you're launching and giving out to the world just in and of itself.
Yeah,
but
I'm putting the rods, basically. I'm giving you the worms and the rods. I'm saying, line it up and go fishing. Come on, let's go. Let's all make a lot of money.
That's the key though into that is they got to do the work. You know, ultimately you can really show and guide, but you got to have the right mentality, that work ethic, that drive, and that heart, as you mentioned, to really do this at a high level. And it's not easy, but I agree with you. Things should get easier as time goes on. Internally, it's easier. It's still hard work, but you're just stronger because of it. It's like going to the gym. The first time you pick up those weights, they're heavy and you're going to be really sore.
It's always going, I mean, you're running your own business, right? So if you're choosing to run your own business, it's always going to be hard work. Otherwise, going and work for someone else, work your 40 hours a week, and then you have all the bank holidays and all the weekends off and your paid vacation. And that is easy to me. That is easy. If you're going to go in business for yourself, but if you want to have a business in real estate, not just a job in real estate, then if you do the right activities and put in the right systems and processes in place, in my opinion, after a few years, 3, 4, 5 years, your work will be hard, but the number of hours that you put in are lower because you have systems that work for you.
Sure. Yeah, I think ultimately no one could have said that better, Susana. And what you got to look at is you are guilty by association. Who you surround yourself with matters. And, you know, I'm just glad that I have you in my life and that I can say that not only are you my absolute favorite real estate professional, but you're a friend and a family friend. And that means a lot to me. And I know that anybody in your life, past clients, you know, existing, and then team and growth, they all feel the same way. And ultimately, I would say to everybody, do yourself a favor, reach out to Susana and the team. That's something that you are not going to regret, whether you're just learning and growing and scaling from somebody who's done it, been there. If it's a fit, it's a fit. If it's not, that's okay.
Anything that anyone like, if I have enough hours in the day to share, I will. My downfall is I have just so many hats that I wear. But if anyone wants to know, I'm such an open book. It may be the European in me, but I don't hold back. Whatever you want to know, I'll give it to you because isn't that what we're here to do? To give to others. And I mean, I don't mean to be cheesy, but it's true. Like, what else are we here to do in this lifetime? Make a little impact, right?
You're making a big impact, Susana. So I got to state that. And I think I can speak for everybody who knows you that way. But I know we only scratched the surface, Susana. There's so much more that we can talk about. But I do want to, you know, just kind of conclude this episode. I want to encourage everybody, like I said, to really reach out to Susana. If anything stuck out to you, if anything really resonated, learn more, reach out. It never hurts. Susana's extremely busy, but she does try to make the time. So I can encourage it. But Susana, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's to you, your wife, your beautiful daughters.
Yeah, likewise, Susana. And again, I can't thank you enough. I do have to dub you an official real estate titan. So that is a badge of honor you can wear for the rest of your life. No plaques, no trophies, but it's in your heart. So it definitely is there. So I can't thank you enough. And everybody, thank you as always for your time and attention, love and support. If you like here with doing the Real Estate Titans, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do at this point. I do have to give our sponsor a quick shout out, Lionbolt Media. So if you are a real estate professional looking to grow and scale your digital business, essentially saturate, lead generate, and convert to more closed transactions, make an impact in your life and your community, visit lionboltmedia.com. We're live here every Tuesday afternoon, a different Titan, a different location. We'll catch everybody on the next live episode of Real Estate Titans. Take care. Thanks, Susana.
Bye, Greg. Thank you.